Hello again,
Well,
Ambassador Terry here with another interview about the Lumina Interfaces book launch series. And my guest is Julian Voss Andreae. Welcome, Julian. I'm glad you're here.
thank you, Ambassador Terry. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Um,
I'm honored to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be enjoyable. He has done some cool stuff. So here comes the famous question. Julian Voss Andreae, what are you doing with Lumina?
I participate in this project with Miriam. I know her for a few years now, and she has an incredible vision about, art and science, but also about a deeper shared, you know, spiritual humanity, basically, like a deeper vision for how where humankind can go if we sort of transcend the boundaries within our thinking, but also within us, each other. And I was very much drawn to her like ideas, and was very happy to participate in this project because it's
I can
very aligned
agree
with what
with
I
that.
do. I'm bridging. I come from a science background. I used to be a physicist, and I switched to become an artist full time about 25 years ago. And since then, I've been really passionate about bridging the intellect and the intuition, if you will.
That's divine. Mariam is such a powerhouse. She had me hooked into this project within a couple of minutes of talking to her the very first time. So, bridging from physicist to artist, that in itself is very, tell me more about that. That's cool.
Well, when I was really young, I had all these scientific, but also the artistic hobbies. And then when it was time to find what I want to do in life, when I did my schooling, high school and stuff, I moved to Berlin because I thought I wanted to become an artist and go to the art academy there. But then I got sidetracked and realized how fascinating physics, in particular for quantum physics, is. And I felt if I only rely on science, like science, popular science books, then I can't trust this. It's too mind-blowing, the messages that come through in quantum physics, like about how the world is not as we think it is in the Newtonian paradigm, how it's much more, there's a lot of things to this. But so I felt it's really important for me to sit down for a few years and study the science and really understand where it's going. So I ended up doing university physics for 8 years and ended up doing my graduate research in Anton Zeilinger's group in Vienna. He won the 22 Nobel Prize in physics for his like foundational work in quantum physics, an amazing physicist. He did a lot of tests that sort of, try to bridge what is the classical world of physics with the quantum world. Where does the weirdness in how does the weirdness of quantum physics translates into our macro world, essentially along those lines. And so after I had done my thesis, I met this woman in Italy who I fell in love with, and she was a neuroscientist. And I decided, and she told me about green fluorescent protein, and I started incorporating the knowledge about proteins as a way to kind of expand our research. But at some point, I realized I wanted to go to her and be with her. And so I moved to Portland, Oregon. We got married, had 4 kids. I studied art, and I switched everything from physics, hardcore physics, to basically being a full-time sculptor. And I started out with these proteins that I'd learned through her research. And then I made these models of proteins. That's how I got into sculpture. And then it kind of moved from there. And my work now is mostly things that are inspired pretty much directly, for the most part, by quantum physics. And I sort of find visual metaphors for those, to bridge those worlds.
What a delightful journey that you have had so far, sir. Fall in love with an Italian and run away to America, huh? Was
Well,
that
she was
fun or
American. She
what?
was not Italian, but
Oh,
it
okay.
was in Italy though.
All right, how boring. No, I'm just kidding. You live in a beautiful city. The Rose City is all of that. And thank you very much for coming on and tell us a little bit about your life and how Mariam got you involved in the project Lumina Interfaces. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Leave your comments below, ladies and gentlemen. We love to hear from you, and we'll be around to watch. Thanks again, Julian.
Sure, anytime. Thank you.
And thank you, folks. Bye for now.